Hello, everybody! Welcome back to Hamster's Hobby Hang.
Woo!
How you doing?
It was slightly different than normal.
Yeah, probably a result of my energy. Mason and I were running from a meeting, and we were like, "We have to hang! We have to relax and hang and chill, dang it!"
Guys, we have to go. We need to hang.
Exactly. But now we're here and we're happy. I'm speaking for you, Mace. I've decided that we're happy, okay?
Okay. I'm thrilled.
Wonderful.
I'm cheesing.
I'm cheesing.
All right.
I'm cheesing.
So, Chris, you've got to tell me about this thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The big like Monsters Inc. creature on your desk.
Oh, this is Mud Gullet, the frog hemoth from Reaper.
Oh, you got your Reaper stuff?
No, this is not from Bones 5.
Okay.
Somebody on the Discord, Commerce Demon, painted one up, and I was like, oh man, that looks fun. I want to paint it. And they're like, yeah, but it's out of stock. And they found it on Pipped, and it was $25 on Pipped. And there was only one left, and so I had no impulse control,
right?
And I got it. It's from Bones 3 apparently. Because also on Pipped, I got
Wait, was that a bunch of paints or was it just the organizer or both? Yeah.
Both.
Okay, awesome.
And so that was on big sale. I think it was like usually 180, but Pips had it for like 120 or something like that.
Nice.
And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just get both of these things. So now I have like all these different skin shades, and I have like actual pinks and all this stuff that I've always had to like find solutions for before, and now I just have them.
Awesome.
Treat yourself.
And do you have some of the beast's victims beside him there?
Oh, these are the other 3 orcs from Ragecraft that I want to finish the set.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to decide. I feel like I need to base the Frog Hemoth before I actually like put it together.
You know what I just thought of is that boy might be a good opportunity to whip out the airbrush.
That's a good point. Maybe I don't do that today. I have to get it set up. I can't do it here. My cat is sitting right here.
Your supervisor.
I would love to see the cat's reaction to the compressor for the first time.
Yeah, I would need to get it all set up, so I probably couldn't do it. Yeah, I should. You're right, though. What I should do is airbrush it. I was thinking about basing it in brown or green.
Yeah.
Instead of in black, but that makes a lot of sense. I should airbrush it, actually.
Now he's rethinking everything.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't do Frog Hemoth today. Maybe I airbrush him, and then next week maybe I base him with the airbrush, and then next week I paint him. But, yeah.
Oh, Commerce Demon put in the link to that paint set. I saw the Reaper Master Series. Those are good paints. That's the same kit you started with, right? It was a handful of them.
I started with their starter kit,
yeah.
And now I got the Master Kit that just has so much more stuff. It has all their metallics. It has all the. It's nice. I was running out of some of the stuff that I got in the starter kit, so now I have it.
Nice.
It's been refilled, but then I also just have so many more tones. Like actually having different flesh tones and having like. Here's like tanned leather and stuff like that. Like just having a bunch of different tones is very nice.
Yeah, when I first started at Dorm Forge, we had a bunch of those paints from some kit that someone got, and I was used to like having all my pre-mixed hobby paints too, so I painted a bunch of stuff with that. Like most of the Caverns Deep miniatures I painted with that, and now I'm starting to basically just for ease of instruction and for in-house use, I just use the Pokorny paints now that I'm more familiar with them. We also didn't have a lot of colors back then, so I had to pull some stuff. But yeah, I painted specifically the Mimic. I remember painting with those, and that Rat Thief. I forget its name. I always just called it the Rat Thief. The Minotaur, all that stuff. Oh, and the Mercer Mini, yeah.
Oh, did Mercer use this one?
I think at one point he had it in like a jail cell or something. The face on it is really sad because he's a prisoner. He's
That's
got
fair.
a look of anguish. So what is this pipped site? I've never heard of this.
Me either. I was worried it was some kind of weird, like, illegal thing I was doing, but Reaper has them featured at ReaperCon, so apparently it's okay. I bought exclusively Reaper things from them, but at much lower than the actual Reaper price. And also I ordered this like 2 days ago, and it's already here.
Wow.
And like, they also do like the free gifts for every however much money you spend. And so I spent enough between the paints and the Froghemoth to I spent enough to get like 3 free minis, but I forgot to actually add them to my cart before checking out. And I messaged them, and they just like fixed it for me real quick, and it was
Oh wow.
yeah. Everything about it seems very good, so I'm waiting for what the catch is, because so far it's all been good.
The labels start peeling off, and it's actually like it's store brand craft paint or something.
I'm on like some kind of government watch list or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's one of the pipped guys. Look out for him.
Yeah, he's one of those miniature painting freaks.
So you have a different setup too. You got a little desk, little fold-out desk or something.
Oh, I just took a TV tray. It was just because this thing's so big that I
Yeah.
didn't want to put it on my. I didn't think there'd be space on the other thing. I
Sweet.
usually have my laptop on this tray next to me, but now I'm not even painting this one, so it's all wasted.
That's the spirit.
Cest la
There
vie
you go.
and all
Well,
that.
Sestlavy, yeah.
Just
Cest Levy.
leave the tray up anyway. Cest
Yeah.
Levy? What is
Cest-
that?
Cest Levy.
It's French. Duh.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay,
It's-
okay.
it's-
I'm not very
You ever heard of the
cultured, I'm
French
sorry,
language?
Yeah, it's French.
Sestlavy.
Maybe you
guys.
haven't
No,
heard
I
of it.
haven't.
Maybe you haven't heard of it.
You know how they say yes,
Yeah.
owie.
Owie?
Yeah.
I've heard
O-U-I, owie.
No, it's why.
Why? Ooh, ooey, ooey. All right.
Why?
We're just some dumb Americans over here. Mace, what are you working on?
I am drawing today because I was not able to prepare the mini I was going to paint due to a meeting going on.
Yes, I barely had this
So-
one ready to go.
Yeah. I don't really know what I'm drawing, but it's sure to be mediocrely fun.
Mediocrely fun. That's our goal here at Hamster's Hobby Hang.
Hey.
Yeah, I was rushing to put this guy together. Well, I didn't put it together. I picked a model that was a single sculpt, but the base, I couldn't find like my super glue nearby, so I tried PVA, but it was only partially dried, and so then I found a super glue, and I was gluing glue to itself with other glue, and now it's mostly together on the base and everything, and the texture. So it wasn't pretty, but now it's good to go.
Looks like Legolas.
Yeah, it is some elfy guy. I got it from a Kickstarter.
It's definitely got legs.
True that.
Is this
Or like Lego
Kickstarter?
more.
Man, now he's got some legs.
Hubba hubba ooh.
Sorry,
Ooh.
hamster.
It's a Kickstarter called Myth Explorers, I think, from RN Estudio in Spain. I guess not particularly this guy, but a lot of them seem kind of anime sort of inspired. I got a pack of them here. I didn't particularly like the packaging. They were just kind of jammed together in this thing, but I get it. Keep it cheap. But, like, some of them are multi-part, and they're just kind of thrown together, which is a bummer, but... But the models are pretty cool. and childproof apparently.
I'll be the judge of that.
So is your model stand though, so it fits.
Oh yeah, it is. Where's like the particularly? Oh yeah, like this one is a good example. This one's kind of cool.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah.
That looks a lot like my LARP character, my
Look-
old one.
Look at this big cat. Chris. This is like the Monster Hunter pet companions.
Palico? Oh yeah, look at that. Yeah. That looks. Well, I mean, the Palico are more. They're a little more anthropomorphized than that.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, that's definitely that's a living cat right there. Well, I mean, all cats are living, hopefully. But let's see.
But my favorite part of them was just, how like everything, all the weapons and stuff have to be absolutely enormous. Super cool. Oh, like this guy. I don't have his shield arm, his other arm, but like the sword is like as big as him. Stuff like that. Pretty cool. Kind of World of Warcrafty maybe, like this guy in particular. Just like really big pauldrons and stuff.
So are you trying to decide what you're gonna work on, or?
No, I'm just. This model is from this Kickstarter, and it doesn't. It's not quite as like has the same aesthetic. This one's a little more like, I guess regular. What am I trying to say? More of the usual looking, but those are the kind of the represent the style a little better of the whole Kickstarter.
Nice.
I really want to. I'm sorry. That song has been stuck in
Yeah,
my
you
head.
will be.
I'm excited to get to the part of this where I have to drill holes in a base to get these minis on it.
Yeah.
'Cause all these orcs are set up that way where they got like pegs in the.
Oh right.
And it's definitely a situation where I'm supposed to drill holes in the base. Which, you know, could be fun.
Or you could always snip off the little peg and just glue it.
I could, but like, I want to try it and see.
Yeah.
Anyone else terrified of their Bones 5 Kickstarter reward showing up? Yeah, I've got a lot coming. It's gonna be rough.
I feel that.
Merc90 also would like to know what kind of brushes you guys are using.
Well, I have a surprise.
Ha ha!
Because we got a sample of the Ghost Tiny brushes from their Kickstarter.
Yeah.
They have their new detail brushes, and I haven't used these before, but Nate loves them. And he sent us a little sample. So you'll notice they kind of have some interesting shapes. So these are nylon synthetic. But this is a chisel-shaped brush. Are these from this Kickstarter or previous? These are sort of the rounded. They're really soft, probably good for dry brushing or some stippling. So those are neat. And
I'm not sure.
some other
Those are the ones that I got too.
The nice
fine
thing
detail
is-
points. And the handles are cool too. They're shorter and fatter, so they're a little more comfortable for our uses. Sometimes like art store brushes have really long handles.
The nice thing is, he'll be able to tell us himself because next week we're gonna have him on.
Yeah, next Hobby Hang, next Thursday, he'll be a guest, and he'll be talking about the Kickstarter in its final 48 hours.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. Actually, we've wanted to do guests on Hobby Hang for a while,
Yeah.
and it just seemed like a convenient. It was around the time that we wanted to start having new ones, or we want to start bringing guests on, and turns out it lined up with this guy's Kickstarter, and it just seemed like a convenient Convenient timing. Let's see. I'm kind of interested to hear just about like the entire process of making brushes.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Like, how do you design a brush? How do you manufacture it? I have no idea where to start with that.
Let's see. How does this come out? Mix that with gray.
I wonder, like, you know how some brushes are also horsehair?
Horsehair? I haven't owned any, but...
Oh, am I?
Are you talking about, like, a shoe brush?
I have no idea. I just thought that some brushes were actual horsehair.
Maybe they are. A lot of my natural hairs are, like, sort of weasel-looking things.
Oh, maybe it's weasel hair.
I have some
anyway, I
squirrel
want to know
hair.
what great clips they all go to get their... Oh, horse and camel hair, yeah. I was gonna say, because I have some that are labeled horsehair, and if they're
That's cool. How do you
yeah,
how do you
they
like
were
how those work?
nice, I'm very scared to use them. I'm kind of scared to use every brush that's not a craft brush, just because it's kind of like writing in a new notebook where you're like, well, I don't want to mess it up already. You got to save that for my big notebook opus, but.
I feel that my Winsor & Newton Series 7s, probably the best brushes I have. I've had them for almost 10 years, and they've never been used.
Yeah, it's... I don't know why, like, things aren't permanent, things are replaceable, and, like, I don't know why there's always such a fear about using nice things, but it feels like I'm not I have to be ready for it. Like, I'm still an apprentice, and I'm not the wizard that gets to use that wand yet.
Right.
I cannot wait for you to finally use them and realize you don't like them. It's like you get like your favorite mini, and you're like, this is it. This is gonna be incredible. And you realize like you just don't know how to work with them at all.
Well, I've used them and they weren't too hard, but yeah, hopefully I do, I just hate them, and I've been saving it all for disappointment. That's what I dream of as well.
Does someone have a car driving by that's bumping some tunes?
Yep.
I was like,
Yep,
I was
yeah,
like,
I
is that
certainly
your
do.
music? But then I was like, it sounds like it's outside.
Yeah, I put on my vinyls, and yeah, no, that's somebody has just decided to stop right outside my window and start bumping. So
It's me. I'll pull around, I'm sorry.
thank you.
Pull this hobby mobile around.
Yeah, I got the hobby cruiser going.
Oh,
We're mobile, baby!
What if there was like it was like the do you guys have the bookmobile?
oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Except we do miniature little hobby mobile.
That would be awesome at like a convention setting, but I feel like for the rest of the year it would just be like business would be slow.
Yeah, you're right. Actually,
Instead of a door-to-door car salesman, it's door-to-door hobby salesman, and everybody's just like, we've told you last time, like nobody here wants you.
the
come on.
bookmobile was the first place I saw Nintendo Power magazine.
Bro, I
Ooh.
forgot about stuff like that. Yeah. Oh man, that. Now I'm remembering. Yeah, like all the book fairs and stuff. That sort of be like, whoa, 1001 tips and tricks for your favorite games.
Yeah, exactly.
And I wouldn't like have any of those games. Man, oh yeah, just like compilations of like cheat codes and stuff. Back when cheat codes were things that were like actually programmed into the games.
Yeah.
That's actually such a weird. It's actually a really weird industry now that I think about it. Like, so they programmed them into the game, but then it was like, yeah, we're gonna just sell books that tell you how to activate those cheat codes. So like, did they
And
put it
what's
in the
crazy-
game and then sell it to the people who wrote the books? Or like,
That's a good question.
I remember some games in those pamphlets they had would tell you some cheat codes, but they wouldn't even include all of them sometimes, which was weird too. It's like, it's just a marketing scheme for like selling those Nintendo mags. And this was before like the internet was obviously a thing and still pretty big, but it wasn't as social, I think. So the information was not free at that point.
And do you remember the games too where each level would have a code, and so to save your progress you had to like write down the code and enter it?
Yeah.
Yep. An original Zelda like that?
I actually didn't play the original Zelda title.
Original Zelda, no. No, original Zelda actually had... So the original Zelda was like a big deal because it was one of the first games to actually like have save files that actually had a battery in it so that you could save your progress. But stuff like Aladdin on the Aladdin game had it. That was on Super Nintendo. Bomberman did that for its story mode. Super Bomberman on Super Nintendo.
I love Bomberman.
I rented Bomberman from Blockbuster.
Kid Icarus had the code thing.
Love
Yeah.
that game so much.
Are the Ghost Tiny
Did you guys
Brushes
ever
any
play the
good?
game?
Oh, sorry.
I actually haven't
You
used them
did.
yet. They're mostly for details, so I'm gonna do some base coding. But when we get into the nitty gritty, I'll bust them out.
Ooh.
Yeah, you heard me.
Oh, nits and grits, baby. It's gonna be a weird one. I desperately need sleep. I have not been sleeping very well.
Dude,
For good
same.
reasons though. Like, yeah, well, mine's because I'm wasting my time playing a game and not because I'm sleepless.
Which game is that?
Are you really asking? Like,
If it's Minecraft, oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Speaking of when the internet was less social, no.
No, I like the YouTube channel Super Mega started a server, and so I saw that and it made me really nostalgic for Minecraft again because I got it when it was still in beta and I haven't played it in at least like 11, 12 years. And so then I couldn't even log into my account and I bought a new one and I just like, boy, have I missed it. And the muscle memory is still there. So I like, even though I'm not good at it, I feel really good. Like maybe I am a gamer after all.
So everyone look out for Mace's upcoming Minecraft YouTube channel.
She's actually
Akira Maximus says, "Ugh, Minecraft. At least you didn't say Sims, but like Minecraft is only replacing Sims. Like
you're a Sims head. You're always talking about Sims.
I know.
Yeah, you're a real simp.
God. Get out of here.
The Simps.
I have
Simp
Sims?
City.
The Simpsons hit and run.
Simp City.
Grand Simp Auto.
Has the joke landed yet? Let's see. I actually do wonder how many... I imagine most people watching probably actually won't even know about the whole simp thing. That might be...
That's some new kids talk.
Yeah, to be honest, I shouldn't even know about it. I'm technically an old at this point.
And old.
Yeah, I'm one of the olds. I'm more boomer than zoomer at this point.
Transition we all must face.
I remember the day I transitioned
Me,
from
I'm
zoomer
gonna
to
live
boomer.
forever.
Zoomer to boomer, no time flat. I think one mini is in a pile. I play no games, I only paint Warhammer. Oh man, there's so much going on. A joke.
I did
I've got some...
I did more painting than I did in a while because the Tarkov servers were down yesterday.
Let's see. What's... Man. I hope we don't get, like... Well, I don't know. That still just, like, the weirdest development on Twitch to me. Was when they like made a statement about that.
They made a statement about it?
Yeah. It's weird to think how far weird like culture things go on Twitch. But let's see. But whoops. Okay. Currently building a model we've had for about 15 years. Yeah, Hamster, have you seen both Rabbit and Kraid on the Discord, like building these massive
I saw some of the very first photos, I think. Yeah. I just saw when they were just feet. Just the legs. Those things look massive and awesome.
Let's see. I don't understand what it is. I don't understand why Rabbit has one from 15 years ago. But I think I don't know if Kraid's is also from that long ago and he just got it, or if it's like a new version of it or something. I understand very little about that entire world. But it's like seems like a massive project that they're just kind of doing side by side.
Yeah, it's from like the sort of collector side of Warhammer. It's like basically a partner company, like a side company called Forge World, and they do like fancy resin stuff, like all of the cool niche characters that aren't in the mainstream Warhammer products in plastic. And I think they're for sure Titans, right, guys? But I was gonna say Warhound Titans, or Warlord Titans, but I don't know which versions you guys have. But anyway, they're some of the biggest war machines of the Imperium.
And the Imperium is just one of the factions in
It's basically all of the humans. Basically, I don't want to say the good guy humans, but the because everyone's flawed in that world, but the main like governing power that's like fighting back the Xenos and Chaos. Like there's a number of factions that fall under the Imperium, and they're all like the Space Marines are Imperium, but also the ground troops called the Imperial Guard, and their tanks are part of the Imperium. The Sisters of Battle are under that umbrella as well.
How much does the lore and stuff actually come up when you're playing the game? Is that basically entirely detached from the actual like wargaming part of it, or is it actually?
Well, it depends. The rulebook has basically 3 different sections. One of them is match play, which is admittedly probably the most common way to play, which is very doesn't have a lot of lore attached to it. There might be some cool stuff in the objectives or something. There are rules where if you're matched against a certain enemy, you're gonna have a bonus. But tournaments and stuff, almost none. But they do have sections on narrative play and open play, which is just loose, do whatever you want sort of ideas, where you can have campaign. And in the latest edition, there is a whole brand new rule set called Crusade, which is basically all like story-based, lore-based, homebrew-based, where your army can grow and also accumulate experience and skills and equipment throughout any length of games. Not even within I'm playing with my friends in this campaign, but your Crusade army can go to any player, and they have rules in place to like shore up any gap in progression between 2 Crusade armies. So you can play against any Crusade army, and it's super lore heavy.
Okay.
And Rabbit makes a good point. A lot of the army abilities are based on the lore, but it's not like you're not like role playing, really.
So when you make your army, do people generally ever like mix units from different factions, or is that not really done?
Well, there's pros and it is done. There's pros and cons to both. There's usually bonuses for having a faction focused army. But sometimes the bonus is you're getting strengths from multiple factions, and you forego what they call battle forged bonuses to pull from. They call them soup lists a lot of times, when sometimes you have a whole bunch of different factions.
Okay. Let's see.
I mean, my favorite way to play, even way back in Warhammer Fantasy Battles, was just a big army of the same faction.
It seems like the easiest, if nothing else.
Yeah, and then, like, you know, you only need one army rule book, and you get used to its ins and outs.
Wait, each army has a different rulebook?
Yeah, you need the core book, and then each army has a rule book.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's hardcore.
Is it just like the stats for each unit in that army, or?
It's the
like...
stats and the abilities and faction-specific lore. And all kinds of stuff. But all the stats, there's basically no stats in the core book. You get it from your army book.
Huh. That's... Yeah, I had no idea things were laid out like that. Man, it'd be fun to do like an ongoing campaign situation with Relic Blade, because it's built out for that, right?
Yeah, there's definitely great campaign rules, and especially as you play more war games, I think Crusade would be a fun way to learn Warhammer, but just instead of just going full army scale. It'd be a fun way to just like start with a smaller games and progress up and like kind of incorporate new stuff. But Relic Blade campaign is really fun too. And I am getting a crap ton of models painted for it too, so.
Warhammer is without a doubt spectacular wargaming. They own the market. Their storefronts in England are awesome. To be a true Warhammer player, you need a ton of time to mod the minis to fit what you field, have them painted, and the skill of those painters is second to none with those minis. That's the thing, is I've seen there's a lot of as we've been talking about like how to appeal to wargamers with stuff that we're trying to do moving forward. So one of the main things I've seen is the wargaming community seems to be much more higher percentage of people who are hobbyists that like craft and paint their own stuff, and also do just like ridiculous paint jobs and stuff like that. Like, it seems to be like everybody who's involved in Warhammer seems to be into that kind of stuff.
Well, that's why one question in my mind is, would the unpainted Dwarven Forge appeal to them more, or do they have enough to paint and they would want more typically painted stuff, right? I'm not sure.
I feel like I've heard it said both ways, where like I've heard it implied both that because there's so much other stuff to paint, they'll appreciate not having to paint it. But then also that, you know, like, because they do paint things, like, they have no interest in stuff that's already painted because they want it to be up to their standards.
Yeah.
I feel like it's also going to be different minis versus terrain. Like, the minis I feel like would be a lot more fun to paint, and then for terrain stuff, I feel like that's going to be, like, it's still fun, but if you really want to play on that, the fastest, easiest way is to get unpainted. And I don't know, I feel like obviously you could go either way, but if you're really hurting to get some terrain on your table to play with, then I think it's going to be more likely that people get painted for terrain, at least.
It's looking some people agree. It's a lot of minis to paint, and it's always been the case. Well, for any mini collector, but especially Warhammer, there's so many releases. Especially nowadays, their release schedule is crazy. That most of my pile of shame is Warhammer. There's so much to buy.
I need to grab one of the ones I've done on these so I can use it for reference. Ugh. All right. Let's see. Ow. All right. Okay. So if I'm going off of this. Use the blue. Use the blue anti-metallics here. Can you buy the two-headed croc by itself? I don't think you can buy it by itself. I think it's only in sets.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Bought one on eBay. Yeah, you can probably get it from people who are selling it individually, but I don't think it's in a pack by itself. I can check real quick though. We try not to sell individual pieces unless they're like big. Unless they're like big things, just because the cost of shipping things over and all that. All right, let's see. Sewer. Man, I cannot wait to have the new store up.
Yeah. Been a long time coming.
Every time I have to look for things in here. Oh wait, no, it is.
Is it up?
Yeah, you can get it by itself. $20.
Oh, nice.
And it's in stock.
Gasp.
Maybe I'll get it. I kind of want to get it. Huh. I mean, I would get it unpainted. Because I'd want to... Yeah. Huh. Huh. Man, I'm like... Yeah, okay, no, I can't... I'm literally painting stuff that I've bought and haven't painted yet. I can't just spend the stream buying more minis. Especially from the company that I work for.
Buying minis is also part of the hobby, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've been good at that part of it. I need to work on the rest.
Okay.
All right. I think.
Yeah, I'm a very proficient miniature buyer.
Yeah, I'm so good at buying minis. You have no idea. Genuinely, one of my greatest skills. Let's see. I really like... I can't wait for this set to be done, honestly. Not because like I dislike painting it, but just because it'll feel so cool to like be able to look at this set of like 5. And also like I feel like I've done a good job on them in particular.
Yeah, the orcs look awesome. I mean, that's what's so satisfying about... Like, sometimes painting armies is a slog, but when you see them all together, man, it's like so satisfying.
Like the only like army quote unquote that I've done is those gnomes that I did way back when I first started.
Oh yeah.
And like that was a much more of like a rush job and like much more just like table view. I'm so much more selective and like careful with these orcs because like I think because they carry like significance in our game. And so I like have like an emotional attachment to them. So I just like am concerned with like, okay, so wait, so which one is like which character is this one? And then trying to make sure that like it actually feels like the group that they are. Also just it's satisfying to see like the fact that the fact that they're sculpted to have similar details but are still like individualized to the point where you can say like, yeah, this is probably the higher ranking one, and you know, you can say like this is what each of their jobs are in this group. That you can use similar color schemes to go like, yeah, they're all hunters of Balinor, so. Yeah. Yeah,
I just like the process of like, you know, making them unique but unified, kind of. Just
Yeah.
striking that balance is kind of fun.
Making them individuals in a group.
Yeah.
Members of a team. A party, I guess. The whole thing that makes D&D exciting. Let's see. Here we go. I also really like doing capes.
Oh, capes are awesome, man. This finished a pretty cool cape.
Grab them.
I posted, I think I put this on the Discord, one of my Infinity guys. Not hugely detailed because it's kind of a dark gray or black, but
Sounds like it took you a long time.
the cape is enough. That was fun. Thanks, Topulus.
Doing the infinities.
Yeah, I like how this turned out.
You just posted them last night, right?
Yeah, and I was experimenting a little bit with different snow mixtures and stuff that I was trying out, and have some that are a little icier and some that are a little more like fresh snow. There's some cool stuff I learned with that. Thanks, Rabbit. Yeah, I like that oil. I don't know, especially with army and band painting, I kind of like that sort of illustrate-y style of like, not everything has to be a great blend, but make it poppy and make it stand out. Camouflage cloak. I want to try something like that. How to do a pattern like that. I want to start trying to add patterns to minis like that. Even like something maybe more ornate or camouflage, or even like I've tried to do some sort of rough weathered texturing. Because if you're kind of messy and you make mistakes, it actually doesn't look so bad. But
yeah, it's also like, just when I do these models that like have fairly complicated poses, I'm trying to learn to be okay with like, no, this is an area where I just need to get a color in, and the odds that anybody even looks at it at that angle,
right.
like I can't worry too much about it.
Yeah, like with this band, I really like how the black gray turned out, but that and sort of the white on the gloves is like maximum of 2 colors. I think by the time I got to this model, the white gloves were just like the white gray over the black, somewhat gray of a gradient, but not a different color of paint. And then the magenta pinkish color is where I added a little extra detail, but I picked that color of them all to really like highlight a few times and glaze and stuff, and I like that. It was fun. It was a fun process to paint that way, and the result was cool. So there's like the exclamation point color, and then there's like, you know, the semicolons. Yeah, Vertex, that quest box with what is it, the cursed, all the horror sort of Warhammer stuff. Oh man, those look so cool. There's no way I'm not getting that box. I'm trying to be better about buying stuff, but looks awesome. Figured out there was a Warhammer store 7 miles from my house, dude. For a while, I'm pretty sure there wasn't an actual Games Workshop store. There was very few in the U.S. when I was growing up. and definitely not in my area. So one summer we went to the Chicago area. I was in Minnesota. Went to Chicago area to go to Six Flags. But what I was most excited for is I was like, Mom, near the Six Flags is a mall that has a Games Workshop store in it. Can we go there?
In Chicago?
Yeah. And that was when it was one of their first new terrain sets when they started making the hill and the trees, the little forest patch as a plastic kit. So I got those, and I saw like all their army stuff set up, and that was really fun. And then by the time I was like done with college, years later, there's finally a Games Workshop store in nearby, in a suburb of nearby my town. There's actually one in New York City that's just a Warhammer store. It's not Games Workshop. It's like a small franchise that's exclusively Warhammer Age of Sigmar and 40k.
I'm honestly not surprised.
Yeah, it's just like one guy that like runs it.
Huh.
It's
Yeah,
pretty
you can find
small,
pretty
but you got everything there. And, you know, all of the off-brand, they have like the Warcry and Kill Team stuff there too.
Well,
Yeah, Commerce, it is really tiny, and you're like paying full Games Workshop price, so I don't know. Sometimes I would go in there and just to look around, but yeah, Verdicts, it sounds like it's exactly the same.
let's see.
Yeah, Dead. I worked at a theme park called Valley Fair that was in Minnesota.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I told you that. I was in like the acapella group.
Oh yeah, that's right. Gotcha. Yeah.
What was your acapella group called?
Gal, I'm trying to remember the first one because I did it in the summer, and then they have the Halloween themed in the fall, and I remember that one we were called the Skeletones, and we did skeleton makeup and like you know, suspenders and stuff. God, what was the regular group called? I was just a swing for the summer, and I otherwise ran the karaoke station. And that was when Frozen first came out, so it was just everyone wanting to sing "Let It Go" over and over.
Man, acapella groups have no shame. And they should.
My favorite story is when the summer season was ending. I was the swing, and so I showed up at the park for their last day, their last show, just to, you know, hang out and kind of move around with them. So there's always a group that gathers when they start, and they looked at me and they handed me the mic. They're like, "Wait, we need a volunteer for this next one," you know. And I like knew all the choreography and stuff. And so I'm just there in like my ball cap and my freaking hiking boots or so, like whatever I was wearing. And I'm just like, oh geez, I'm so nervous, I'm so bashful. And then I just start busting out into the routine. And everyone else is like, oh, okay, they're in on it. But one lady's mind was blown. Like, how does he know?
You're the ringer.
Yeah. He knows the name, but he won't tell us because it's embarrassing. I wish that was the case. That's going to bother me all night. I'm sure I'm going to be lying awake and I'll remember it.
Yeah, I don't think you get embarrassed anymore at this point.
You're just assuming at my common demeanor and behavior?
Well, just enough things have happened.
Yeah. That's
just
true.
working where we work and the stuff that comes up and situations we get into. Like,
yeah.
Mace, did you just hurt yourself?
Yeah, well, I'm old, and so now everything I do somehow attributes to back pain tomorrow.
I feel that.
So existence is pain. Like my knees are going, my back's going. I all I do is sit and lay down, and somewhere in between there, I really break things up.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, we're old.
We're getting there. I'm starting to wonder, like, why I can't stay up all night anymore and like be fine the next day.
You still stay? Okay, I was gonna say you still stay up all night, but
yeah, no, I do, but I'm not fine.
Nothing better than being up at 4 in the morning and then seeing that Hamster is also up at 4 in the morning.
I'm like posting in the work Slack and like.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think about that sometimes. I'll send somebody something at like 3 in the morning and be like, hey, I put this together. And then I'll go to sleep, and by the time I wake up, like they've been up for like 5 hours. And yeah. I was already bad with like keeping a good sleep schedule, and then, you know.
Someone in the chat's calling us babies and bullying us, so I think we should
Well,
bully them back.
Well,
we're in that in between, right? Where we're not children anymore. We're not, have invincible bodies. We're starting to feel some creaks.
we're at the part where our bodies are falling apart, and people still don't respect us.
God, Topulus, I'm glad you said something. I have my Broken Anvil. Oh, Chris, did you do the Broken Anvil Kickstarter?
I sure did. What about it?
We got our surveys. In that
Oh!
email. Y'all are
What's in the
tweeners.
Anything interesting?
Tweeners.
Anything interesting in the...
Let's see. I think it's like, hey, make sure we know where to send your crap. So that's interesting.
I don't know what my address is going to be by the time they ship, probably.
Yeah, that's true. Some of these I might have to change.
Just get it sent to me. I'll hold it for you.
I guess I could just send it to the office.
I've done that.
Yeah, or you could send it to me.
But then you have to
It's only
carry
a
it
couple blocks away.
home, which I did that with my Dwarven Forge order, and it was a lot of Dwarven Forge and a lot of terrain trays.
Yeah, honestly, with Broken Anvil, that might be a mistake. Yeah, I shouldn't do that with Broken Anvil.
Hey, Dad, happy birthday! Turned 53 last Monday. Awesome. Oh, thanks, Dia Man. I'm just trying to slap on some color. I might change some of it. I like the sort of gray parts, how they sort of contrast, but this might be too close of a blue to this purple. But speaking of Kickstarters, this is from one called Myth Explorers by RN Studio in Spain that I just got, I think, last week. But I backed it like a year ago now. So I got a bunch of minis from them. They look kind of neat.
Also, hey, DM, congratulations on the giveaway.
Oh, nice.
I think it got sent out. I think all the stuff we were sending from the office got sent out today. So that's the Cavernous Lake resin, and then the player minis. And there's one other thing, the Dwarven Forge Die Hard dice. Those all got sent out today.
A little lighter? Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Maybe if I just highlight it from here, it'll be fine. The rest of it I want to be kind of warm, I think. Like the boots, like all the wood and leather belts and boots and everything might be warmer since it's mostly cool. Rogue Trader, man. Day 1 of Warhammer. Actually, Vince Venturella did a couple really cool videos on the history of Games Workshop, and which of course becomes history of Warhammer. But how they originally started as like the EU distributor of Dungeons and Dragons.
Wait, really?
Yep. And they were one of the few people to like be able to publish their own stuff as licensed D&D material.
Wait.
And actually have the D&D logo on it and stuff. And they're like basically responsible for bringing D&D to the EU. The way I understand it.
It's wild.
Yeah. And then, so Warhammer actually started out looking a lot like an RPG because they're used to Dungeons and Dragons, but it looked really similar. The stats and everything look really similar to what the wargame looks like now. But they were trying to they started out as like a really combat-focused RPG, which eventually evolved into this whole new thing. Not that it was the first war game. You know, there's been historical wargaming probably decades before that.
You ever play Risk?
Well, wargaming was actually like war strategy, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Chess is the first war game.
Yeah.
20 years before it was It's not even accurate, Hamster. It's just foolish to say. Wars have been happening since the dawn of man.
Yeah. Wait, D&D itself was a war game originally?
Yeah.
What's that one board game that's like really... Talisman. Did anyone play Talisman?
Oh.
No.
I didn't play that either, but that was like a narrative, like fantasy game. D&D Monopoly.
D&D Monopoly. That'd be fun.
What's that one? Not Hero Quest. Is it Hero Quest?
Hero Quest is a thing. That's
Right,
like the dungeon crawler?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if it's the one I'm thinking of that is kind of like... Yeah, it's a dungeon crawler. It's like similar to like what Bard Song does.
Oh, Hero Escape was the thing too. I think that was the one with the hexes you build out, right?
It was, and it was a modular map. Like it came with a bunch of like plastic pieces, and it all represented different terrain. And so it'd be like, oh, I'm gonna make a mountain here, and so it was all like on hex and like the floor height and stuff. And so it told you like based on which character you had. Like there was one I like playing that was like an FBI guy who had a grapple gun, and so he could go up like 5 floors at once instantly without it being like a. Like, he didn't need to have, like, enough movement for it, because he could just use his grapple gun instead of having to climb. Yeah.
That sounds sweet.
It was... The problem is, I never got to actually play it.
Yeah.
Like, at least not the way that God intended when he designed Hero Escape. Like, my best friend, Isaac, had it, and he loved it. But... the only time we ever got to play it was when it was like a, hey, you should play this with your younger brothers kind of thing. And they were huge brats. And so inevitably what would happen is we would spend a couple hours setting up the board and picking armies and everything. We'd get maybe an hour and a half into the game, and then they'd get upset because they lost a unit or something, and they'd just like throw a tantrum and start like kicking the board apart and stuff like that.
No.
And then they'd like run off and be like, well, I can't believe this happened for the 5th time in a row. And so we never actually got to finish a game.
I mean, look, in your defense too, when I say I started playing Warhammer at 10 years old, don't think that I finished a game before college, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
No, not many 10-year-olds that will finish a whole game of Warhammer Fantasy Battles with that rule set.
Yeah, they gotta make the chibi version, you know? What was it? What did you guys say last week with amiibos?
What about amiibos?
That's the way kids can play it. But I know you played this game, Hamster, but Chris, have you ever played the game Dread? It's it's an RPG, but with Jenga.
Never played it, but I know it.
Oh, man, I want to play that game again. It was a lot of fun.
Honestly, one of the best RPG experiences I've had.
Same.
The problem is, it's impossible to not play that in a room with people.
That is true.
Well, you could get a robot.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Let's just set up a robot to Jenga for everyone.
Yeah, then it becomes kind of like the BattleBots thing. Plus Jenga. Plus Dread.
It's only one robot.
No, it's BattleBots now. Now it's 2 robots.
Okay, we're not playing Dread anymore, is the problem.
Well, not till we have at least 2 robots.
It's a plate if someone ran a session, hint hint. What, for HeroScape? Or Hero Quest is Games Workshop that they licensed to Milton Bradley. Fascinating. Yeah, I don't really know what is Games Workshop outside of Warhammer, honestly. Because that's like the big thing.
Well, not much anymore. But they started as like just a couple of guys with it. Well, first in the back office of where their real jobs were, and then they finally got a storefront.
Oh!
And now they're big bad GW, bane of the gaming industry, overpricing everything. But
yo, call him out. Let's go.
I mean, to some, I think it makes sense. Well, especially having worked in a company that makes stuff, manufactures stuff.
Fight.
Makes more sense, but.
Let's go.
And honestly, whether or not you like their style exactly, they have some of the best quality miniatures available.
Chris, you're a good hype man.
Yeah, but what do you think about them like as people?
I don't know them personally.
What do you think of their mothers, Hamster?
Yeah, what do you think of their
Your
moms?
mother was a hamster.
Oh,
Too far.
wait. This complicates things.
I feel like I've heard of Owl and Weasel before White Dwarf. Yeah, White Dwarf magazine was originally just like a little pamphlet of like their products, and they started adding articles and stuff. $5? Someone sold Hero Quest in a garage sale for $5. I heard a story once of like some guy, they unfortunately, some parents, their son passed away unfortunately, and they were trying to sell off. They saw some like listing for like, hey, like $20 for this Warhammer collection, and this one guy saw it and was like, whoa, okay, let me help you. And they sold it for like $5,000 in total. They like sold it all separately or something.
Yeah, I'd give up the price of a Subway sandwich for HeroScape.
Yeah.
Or Hero Quest. Oh, she sold it for. Oh wow, I thought you found it for that much. That's unfortunate. Yeah, people outside the hobby don't understand how much this stuff can actually be worth. Oh, I guess sometimes too. It's just like I just want to get rid of it, but.
You sold alpha magic cards for $200? Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
Did you just not know at the time, or did you just want to get rid of it?
Yeah, I'm sure it was like nearer to the release, right? But my high school girlfriend's dad paid for the mortgage on their house with his magic collection.
I was talking to Chelsea, and she made a little joke about Pokemon cards being like worth something today. Or like about like, oh, remember how we thought that Pokemon cards were gonna be worth something? And I'm like, I mean, a lot of the ones that we got back then are worth a lot now.
Oh yeah, the first ones?
Yeah, so you started like looking up like, yeah, because I'm like, you had like first series cards, right?
Well, especially now, there's been a huge uptick over the last year in Pokemon for some reason. Like, just more people are getting into collecting it again.
I think it's
nostalgia.
some insider trading, if you ask me. I think it's a bunch of people deciding. I think it's a bunch of YouTubers deciding if we all just act like Pokemon's a big deal, suddenly we're all making money off of Pokemon cards.
I mean, that's honestly probably true. That's part of it. Like, the content's driving it. And some people play it like secondary market Pokemon or Magic cards like stocks. Like, they'll buy out all the online listings of one card and then decide their own price and sell it.
Just go to a warehouse full of Mewtwo's and be like, I'll take it.
Remember the Pokemon movie where they gave you a card at the theater?
Yeah,
that was
dude,
awesome.
That was the best thing about the movies, was just like getting the cards and it made you feel like it was real special when you got them.
Yeah. Like
I got the Articuno card that I got from seeing like the second Pokemon movie was like such an important card to me as a kid.
Yeah.
You also got like that Mewtwo, or that card of Mew that was like done like Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Oh yeah.
That was like a special card they did with the movies, I believe.
Did you guys ever collect Mighty Beans and Mighty Bean cards?
No. Mighty Beans?
Nope. Okay. Mighty Beans with a Z.
The big thing that my mom collected, under the guise of like, oh, it'll be worth money someday, although it's definitely just that she liked them, was Beanie Babies.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That was like their thing. Was they were supposed to be super collectible, right?
Yeah, they're like, it's collectible. You get the whole thing. You wait a couple years, it'll be worth a lot of money.
Apparently, like a couple in the 90s, when they got a divorce, they split up their Beanie Babies based on value, and it was like a big argument. But my mom told me on the phone a couple weeks ago that we had a Princess Di Beanie Baby, which is the rarest, most expensive Beanie Baby.
Chelsea was talking about that one specifically. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big deal, and I don't know what happened to it, but
people love Princess
we don't have it.
It's such a weird thing because I was like, wait, did they just make like a Princess Diana plushie? It's like, no, it's just like a bear that like has like.
She had a tiara.
Gold. Yeah.
There was a pink one and a gray one.
Man, there's so much Princess Diana memorabilia that's worth a fair amount of money.
Knight of the Phoenix says, raise your hand if you have a Britney Spears action figure you're still waiting to jump up.
You know what I had was the NSYNC marionettes.
Oh my god. Oh my god. On this block 2 years ago, there was one of those NSYNC marionettes. I forget, I think it was Joey Fatone, or like the guy with the dark hair. And it kept moving up and down the street, and people would put it in different positions on the street. And I thought I was losing my mind and being stalked by this puppet.
That is hilarious.
But he's no longer around. Which ones did you have?
I had uns.
Which
I don't. Well, for sure, Justin Timberlake was the first one I had. And then I think I freaking loved the thing so much that my mom got me another one for like my next holiday or whatever. And so the bases would spell out each letter like in sync. But I only had like 2 of them, so.
Sick. So,
Yep.
I still have a lot of Beanie Babies around. Like back home or something.
I think my sister does.
I think the problem with most of those collectible things, because that was just like a really common business strategy back then, was to just make collectibles and convince people that like they should buy them because they'll be worth money later, that the collection itself is going to hold value. Like that was such a big business strategy in the 90s for some reason. And I think what happened with a lot of it was, by the time that any of it would have become worth any money, I think a lot of people who bought the stuff just kind of forgot that they even had it. Like, they did not hold enough attention for this thing. They didn't set, like, reminders for, like, 15, 20 years later to tell them to, like, look at their Beanie Baby collection and check the market. So I think a lot of that stuff probably would actually still be worth a lot of money, but they just have forgotten that they even have it, or forgot that, like, the collectability thing was even a thing.
Akira says, Chris, it's what the Franklin Mint sets its business model on.
Who's Franklin?
The turtle? Hello?
The Franklin coins?
Our Franklin collectible?
Yeah, not Ben Franklin.
Ben Franklin.
The Ben Franklin coins. Are you actually isn't that the thing?
I know about collectible coins. I don't know about Ben Franklin coins.
I think that's what he's talking about. I could be wrong, but...
Remember when they were like, we're going to do quarters, and we're going to do a quarter for each state? And people were like, all right, you better buy these $20 state quarter collecting books that you can slot them all in, and, you know, if you get a full collection, I'm sure somebody will buy those. They're like, yeah, you know what, I want quarters with all the states on them. Man, the 90s was just about collecting everything. 90s and early 2000s. Like...
And some of us haven't stopped, right? Miniature collectors.
Yeah, but we're not buying these to, like, sell them later.
Right. Well, you know what? That is what always sold
Maybe that's why we're so obsessed. Maybe that's why we're so obsessed with owning a bunch of things, is because when we were kids, all the purchasing was just done to get rid of it later.
Right.
It's like, no, I want stuff with permanence.
But that is, like, I wasn't ever drawn to, like, certain action figures or whatever. I think the thing with the miniatures is, like, yeah, you, like, put them together and paint them like a model, but then you can do stuff with them. in the game and stuff. Yeah,
Dual
80s baseball
purpose.
cards. Dude, I remember this random Home Depot employee came up to me and my sister one day, and he must have do this with every kid. He would just hand us like 3 packs of baseball cards.
Dang.
What?
I was like, okay.
It must have been
It sounds-
loaded.
It sounds really sketchy, but I'm not sure what he's being sketchy about.
Well, right, exactly. Like looking back, and I'm like, that's kind of weird, right? But nothing bad happened from it.
I like that they
Yeah,
made
like, it doesn't-
cards like collect cards for collecting and everything. Can't speak. Like based on almost everything now. Like you can still get like My Little Pony cards. You can get Adventure Time cards, and like you could collect almost any type of baseball style card for like anything. Like Garbage Pail Kids were cool. And then some of them had like sticks of gum that are now expired. They had Ghostbuster cards. Oh, did you guys ever have Pogs?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
You know what was big in my school was Crazy Bones.
Oh my gosh, I love Crazy Bones.
I love those too. And for a while, it was like either Burger King or McDonald's actually had them.
It was McDonald's, and they would do them like every year during Halloween.
But the
I
thing
had-
is, so the game was like you would flick them at each other, right? But the McDonald's
Yeah.
ones were enormous. So it was like super OP to use them.
Man, I loved Crazy Bones. I forgot about those.
Yeah, me too. I love those too. I remember my big giant Ziploc bag of them.
I had a glow in the dark one, and I would go
Oh.
I would like cherish that, take it to bed with me and everything. I don't know what happened to them.
Yeah, Ryan Mace mentioned Garbage Pail Kids. Band of Badgers coming in hot with the raid. Thank you.
Yo, Ben
Ooh.
Badgers. What's up? What is up? How was your stream?
What it be?
Da, 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 da. Okay, I think I'm mostly done with
Well,
Mace
guys,
Marietta
it's
called me.
7:16.
You change the time every week.
That's the point.
Mark it.
There you go.
Somebody's gonna find a pattern eventually.
Yeah, there's a secret code in all the times.
Are we supposed to be taking bets on what time it's gonna be every week or something?
Yeah, there'll be some like prize.
Like, is there
For
an
everyone.
actual end goal in mind to that
I don't know.
we're announcing it every time?
I mean, Mace always has a scheme, right? There's got to be something.
That's fair. What is the pattern in practice in the what? What is the pattern in practice in the minute choice?
Yeah, who knows? Only Mace knows.
Oh, okay. 10 kills on the board right now. Just cleared out Tomato Town. Let's see. I think I just need to go over the skin again and hit the spots, and then I can do my browns. Yeah, that sounds about right. Few. Nope, skin. Man. It's funny, like, how quickly I've actually built up, like, a decent amount of a shelf full of minis I've painted.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the best.
It never feels like I'm actually moving very fast with them, but then eventually you do see it all next to each other, and it's like, oh, no, like, there's actually a fair amount in here at this point. Like, we've got a lot more to play with now.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. Like when I look at all my Relic Blade stuff, I have like, you know, the a few bands of good guys, few of bad guys, and like if some couple people wanted to play, they could have some diverse decisions and stuff. So it's kind of like an actually playable, fun collection. So that feels good.
Yeah, I think.
Even though it hasn't happened yet, but when this is all over.
Well, it's just exciting to like actually see stuff get like use, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, like painting, like getting to show, getting to show Miles like his pangolin was nice.
Nice, yeah.
Here's the thing. I guess it's easier to be invested in it when there's like a current use case for it in the game. Yeah. Let's get there in the shoes.
I'm taking a while because I haven't used these paints much. They're my Chimera colors, which are like single pigment colors. Like I don't have, there's no pre-mixed ones, so I'm like have to mix everything. But it's kind of fun. But I'm not quite used to like their properties, like how much dilution they need and stuff. So I got some patchy coverage and everything.
I'm sure it still looks better. Yeah, that still is like just looks ridiculous. It is funny seeing you're like, yeah, you know, this one's just not coming out great, and it's just.
You're always your own worst critic, I guess, huh?
It looks like a Da Vinci painting compared to.
Da Vinci.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like a vampire elf.
Yeah, I was kind of going for like a dark elf.
Dark elf.
I was even gonna do sort of like a gray skin, but then I kind of added some grays and cool colors on the outfit, so it'll still be, it won't be super bright, but I went a little more closer to flesh tone.
Good. Just make sure I get all of the straps here. So many straps.
My mom asked me once, do you believe this stuff is real? And I said no. That was all I heard about Satanic Panic. Hey, I respect that. She's like, look, let me just check in. I heard this on the news. It turns out he's fine. My neighbor was like that, though. Like, if there was any video game, even like rated E, if you were casting spells and magic, they're like, that's not in this house.
That's the thing that was weird to me about it was, yeah, like, that's the approach that some of my family has and stuff like Harry Potter and all that. And I'm just like, wait, do you think this is real?
Yeah.
Like, that's my main thing. And I'm just like...
Mom, imagine being like 9. Mom, do you think this is real?
Yeah,
There's
like,
a boy in London who flies on a broom. Witchcraft.
yeah, like when it gets down to that, and it's just with the whole Satanic Panic thing, like around, because I remember like the sermons that were given about Pokemon when Pokemon was like a new thing.
Oh yeah.
And like, man, there's this one in particular, this televangelist who was talking about Pokemon, and like there's this incredible part of it where like Jigglypuff is up on the projector behind him, just like blown like all the way up. And he's like talking about how like what these are, they're like satanic projections, and that Pokemon is a game where what you're doing is you're summoning devils, and Jigglypuff was the one that he had picked as the visual representation. Like,
That's hilarious.
that's the stuff that's weird to me about it. Yeah, like the Harry Potter thing. Yeah, so like, do you think this stuff is real? Like, I agree. Making sure that a kid knows the difference between fiction and reality is an important thing. But when it's a thing where it's like, we got to make sure we don't have Harry Potter in this house, it's like, wait, so you're acting like I'm actually gonna be able to cast spells if I think it's real for some reason. Like what do you think I'm gonna do? Like,
Read? Ugh,
yeah, that's fair.
not in my house.
Mom's friend had us play games at her pastor's house. He told her there was nothing to worry about. Of course, we stacked the deck with 2 paladins and a ranger in a party. As long as you're playing lawful good clerics and paladins, like there's not, you know. Don't worry. They're gonna make sure your boys stay.
They're healing.
but like, but like your faith has to be like Jesus.
Yeah, yeah.
like you're just not allowed to use the gods in any of the, like the actual D&D settings. It's like no, you actually have to use like Judeo-Christian religion. That's like the only caveat.
Yeah, my parents didn't like get on me about what I was doing. The closest was in high school. I was painting models, and my dad was like, "That looks really cool, man. Now imagine if you put that attention to detail into your schoolwork." And now joke's on him because now I just paint models. Anyway,
Imagine.
I love that approach to things. I love the approach. It's like, hey, so you seem to like this thing. What if you acted that way towards a thing you don't like?
It's like a youth pastor being like, you know who else saved a death save?
yeah.
The Lord. Jesus rose again.
Well, no, I guess that's the thing. Did he pass his death saves, or did he fail them? But then just somebody, had a
Revive him.
somebody had to revivify. Yeah.
Yeah, in your face, Dad. Exactly, Rabbit. Thanks for my great childhood. In your face.
Somebody popped divine intervention is what happened.
No.
Yeah, somebody definitely popped divine intervention because they had to move a boulder and everything.
Who's they, though?
I don't know, one of the apostles? Probably Peter?
Well, not Paul.
Classic Peter.
Peter.
I don't know. I went to Sunday school, but I don't remember anything from it.
Peter.
God.
I think Peter
Ringo,
was
but the Apostle Ringo.
Apostle Ringo.
He's currently known as an MS Paint artist, but former Apostle Ringo.
Former apostle. Imagine it coming up in some like documentary. The little nameplate comes up. Former apostle.
Oh yeah. My favorite. My favorite apostles. There's Paul, John, George, and Ringo.
Ringo.
And there's a hidden fifth apostle that nobody talks about.
Oh yeah.
Rudolph the
And
Red-Nosed
Mary Magdalene
Reindeer.
kept the apostles.
Oh.
AKA The Rock. the Rock
Rudolph
apostle.
the
The Rock played an
Boulder that
apostle.
they moved.
He just like he's like in The Mummy, like through the desert again, but he's just like holding gifts for baby Jesus, but he's just like the Mummy King or whatever, the Scorpion King.
He's in like the actual outfit. He's just like completely shirtless, but he's got those like metal bands and the
Yeah.
tattoos.
That's a wise man. That's not an apostle.
Okay, sure, whatever, but you get it.
The point is that I just want to reimagine every event in the Bible cast with nothing but like professional wrestlers.
Oh man. Would Hulk Hogan be Jesus?
No, Hulk Hogan would have to be Kane because he killed his brother.
Oh.
Oh no. Kane and
You're going down, brother.
No. That's Kane and the Undertaker. Socko
I
would
definitely-
be Judas.
Waiting for that New Testament reboot from
You know
Hollywood.
that-
I need the strong female lead.
Fun fact: Dungeon of Doom is actually the name of a movie that the Hulk was in,
What?
as well as the name of one of our Kickstarters.
That would probably be a pretty good porn name.
God.
Why would Hogan be Moses?
I get why Andre would be the giant.
Well, yeah, Andre being the giant makes a lot of sense.
Goliath. Yep.
Okay, but who would the Iron Sheik be? Herod.
And I want the North Star to be like the Teletubby sun with the baby face in it.
That's my favorite wrestler. That's my favorite wrestler.
Mace is down for the count.
Okay, so that gave you all nightmares too, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, if a wrestling movie for the Lord wasn't enough, Teletubbies Northern Star Baby.
Yeah, just in general, the Bible as 90s kids show fever dream. There we go.
And then all the people in the desert have to follow this giant baby in the sky.
You love that.
Yeah, that specific joke, she's very into that.
Guided by a Bob Ross voiceover.
I'm sorry.
Another Mace shot for the clips reel. Yeah, that's in the highlights there. Just Mace dying laughing. Hey, Paul.
Crying a little bit. I remember my parents scrutinizing Spyro 2 Enter the Dragonfly, but really they should have stopped us. It was the derivative platform gameplay and poor performance on the PS2. Whew. Couldn't even make it through that one.
Yo, somebody just going in on Spyro.
I mean, I don't disagree.
Was Into the Dragonfly the third one?
Second one.
Second one? I thought that one was... I'm trying to remember which one. Is Into the Dragonfly the one that... Because I thought there was like one Spyro game that everybody's just like, yeah, this just isn't good. Is it 2? Do people like Crypto's Revenge? So I didn't grow up with Spyro. I got all my PlayStation consoles late. But I did play, like, the first one.
I'm pretty sure they had Spyro on GameCube, too. Because that's how I played it.
Not the initial ones.
Yeah, not the initial ones.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the original one was just PlayStation. But it did... Into the Dragonfly was on GameCube, I think. I remember seeing it on GameCube.
Yeah. That's the only one that I ever had, and I also, like, to be very honest with you, I don't think I played more than, like, an hour on it, because I was very... I don't know, it just didn't do it for me.
Man, a lot of people have very fond memories of Spyro. PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 era created so many mascots. And then with the PS3, they just, like, dropped all of them. It's weird. Like, Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank and well, I guess Spyro wasn't particularly them. Crash Bandicoot. Like, a lot of them, like, were massive on the PS1 and 2, and then didn't really make an appearance after that.
Did you ever play Rayman?
Yes.
A little bit.
I liked that game a lot, too.
Rayman was multi-plat, though, but...
It was?
Yeah, it was on the 64, it was on the PlayStation. I think actually really early Rayman was... I think he might have started Nintendo, but, like, people know him on PlayStation and Nintendo.
Yeah, I played the original one at my uncle's house, and it was, he only had a PlayStation, and I thought it was maybe just that platform and the second one brought in, but I could be wrong also. I was very young, and don't
I'm
even
try- I'm
remember.
trying to
Like,
remember. I think there were. So Rayman 64. I'm trying to remember. There were Rayman games before the 64 era, weren't there? Or were there not? No, there wasn't one on the Super Nintendo.
oh, I have no idea. I do not know.
Yeah, the 64 games were pretty legendary, but I have to say they've not aged that well. But Rayman Legends,
Oh, that's pretty fun.
it's extremely good. And then Raving Rabbids is also very good. I didn't play like um I didn't play like a lot of the Rabbids stuff. I mean Kingdom Battle. That's what I mean. Rabbids like Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle is like authentically a very good XCOM style game.
Six of Clubs says, Hamster, that looks great. Love those color choices. Do you choose colors based on color theory or just wing it from experience?
Keep forgetting we're doing a show.
Well, well, first of all, thank you. It's starting to come together. Sometimes I plan it ahead, but sometimes I just kind of experiment because, like I said, I'm using these chimera colors, so I know I'm going to be doing some mixing, so I wasn't sure where exactly I was going to start, but it's funny you asked that right this second because there's something that I might change, and so I just pulled up my color wheel. So sometimes I let it be kind of organic, and then if I feel a little stuck, that's when I'll do a little homework and look at the theory. But if I pre-plan, if I'm doing a big scheme and I'm doing a test model for it, usually I'll have some theory in mind. And it's definitely useful at Dwarven Forge because you got to do stuff efficiently. So I will normally like think of a couple schemes in my head and like be staring at the color wheel and make sure they all kind of make sense, and like there's a lot of artistic like what am I looking for? You know, like the artistic bullet points we're trying to hit with everything, so making sure it makes sense in that. So in my own hobby time, it's kind of a mix and it depends on the project. But this was definitely so far just organic. Kind of going off of I knew I kind of want to have a dark elf sort of vibe, so I might actually darken down the skin a little bit. But so I threw down the cool colors, and then I was like, okay, I got a lot of cool. Where am I going to put some warm stuff? So just sort of organically thinking about the different kinds of contrast, not even with, you know, there's not even a lot of lights and shadows on here, but just like warm and dark and the arrangement of them. So it's cool to just block it in. Like I like the placement of the green on top of everything as an example. So just kind of experimenting here, but now I'm starting to dive into, okay, if I'm going to make another choice, I'm going to sort of look at the science, the color science.
Let's see. Oh god, my back. Oh god.
Six of Clubs.
I hear you,
If you
dude.
want to learn color theory, I would suggest try to mix some colors. Like just get a handful of paints, and just pick a mini that you say, just because I know the feeling of like I want all my minis to be good, and I get frustrated when it's like not looking good. But just decide, pick one that's more of a scratch model, and just say this is going to be my experiment, and just try mixing your colors because that's the best way to learn how colors work together, I think.
Yeah, I mean the best way to learn is by doing, I think, is
Yeah.
what comes up over and over again. Fix that face.
Like even when I have when I like was doing the Infinity Band, it just feels a lot more fun to paint. We're like, okay, I have the colors that I'm using, and like I know kind of the mix that I highlight with, but just you start to get familiar with mixing, and you're kind of like, okay, at this spot I want to go. You have a range of mixes, sort of. You have your two paint pots, but you can kind of set up a range. You're like, oh, I kind of want to go at this level, like if there's a numbered scale. This one I want to be like more of a 2 highlight. This one I want to be more of a 4 highlight, and you might adjust your mix as you go. And it's once you learn that stuff, it's really fun to paint that way, and then you can be more organic.
Okay. Ugh. I've got to find a better way to sit.
Yeah, even now, as I paint more and more, especially since I got to hold on the camera. Well, I do this anyway. Who am I kidding? But I just like start leaning closer and closer, and I'm just like have my troll posture.
I'm hunching over a lot more than usual because of the different setup today.
Yeah.
And it's not a good thing.
I stand while I paint. I've thought about getting a standing desk for painting. Use ergonomics. I even have this chair that's supposed to like have the pillows and stuff, and it's not positioned correctly. Yeah, I spend a lot of time, even just when I'm not working, like gaming and stuff. I don't know. It'd be nice to have one of those adjustable ones where you can put it to standing level and put it back. Crazy expensive, but... Yeah, the energy level, it seems like if I have a long painting stretch for work or something, I feel like if I need to continue making progress, but I'm kind of getting out of it, if I go to standing mode, it might help.
I get that. I think that's why Nate stands when he DMs.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Something about being on your feet makes it harder to fall asleep. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, Andy's super theatrical, too. I don't think he would be able to...
Yeah,
handle sitting.
Yeah, he's theatrical to a fault.
Yeah. He's blown out a lot of mics, I imagine. Or a lot of mic levels.
he goes from muttering to like shouting in the same sentence.
My first task here was doing the audio for the Dungeon of Doom when we did the live playthrough series thing, and I was terrified because he had such a dynamic range, and then some of the other players were like really low, really high, everything, but then also Nate varied so much, and I was trying to control it on this thing that wasn't like, we didn't have a soundboard like with sliders. We had tiny little wheels, and the wheels were like so sensitive because of how small they were. So I was terrified because I was like, this is just gonna show that like I'm unworthy, all this stuff, blah 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 blah, and yeah, it was not fun to deal with that first time.
And then we instantly learned that you're indispensable. You're
can't get rid of me.
You're priceless. You're absolutely invaluable.
Stop.
Yeah, you're just really really good at blackmail. And,
there you go.
She's got some on all of us, so we just have to love her.
That's what it is.
Yeah, man. Like, I remember when we did the Hellscape game, he was playing the Howling Devil, and yeah, he was howling.
That's right.
Just like, he would go so loud, and it was like, dude, you're loved.
Sorry, everybody.
You're loved, and we're feeding you through live. But he would go from like a sinister kind of very under his breath thing like this, and then he would scream. It was just like, Jesus Christ.
Well, I remember they were playtesting the Dungeon Doom module when I first started, so I was just sitting there like painting pieces, and I would literally get jump scared from them sitting at the other table playing. And then he asked me, he had a big grin on his face, he's like, so what'd you think? You know, pretty crazy, huh? Good night, Rabbit. Thanks for tuning in.
Hi, Rabbit.
Night, Rabbit.
Let's see. What am I just thinking?
I think, go ahead.
No, it's all good.
What?
Huh?
Huh?
You were saying something.
No, I was just reading something in chat. I'm good.
Oh. I was gonna say, I think that, thinking of a ton of people following the Night Star that's just a wrestler screaming is gonna be my new remembering you burping, Chris. It's the little things that get me through the week.
I'm amazed that like that was the part of the equation that
Oh
made you
no, I
completely.
can't stop laughing. I keep even when you guys are talking, I have to like silence myself. But what were you gonna read in chat?
Wormwood's like gonna make a sit stand desk apparently.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
Huh.
I imagine like it's just like a switch you flip or something to like make the desk go into stand mode or something.
You have to cast a spell.
Let's see. Imagine if GW had the license to make D&D minis instead of WizKids. Well,
They wouldn't be cheap.
they wouldn't be cheap, but I guess it's the thing is, do you want price or do you want quality for the price? I think in most cases you end up getting what you pay for, right?
Yeah. I mean, what I will say is, the point of entry, people seem to love to start with the WizKids minis, like the pre-prime guys. So I'm glad that it gets people into it. And they even have like the Army Painter D&D branded like starter paint set and the cheap minis. But the thing is, to me, is some of the models are so low quality, like the kind of crappy detail and stuff, that it's gonna make it harder to paint. And so it might be frustrating to paint. They're like, oh, I just suck and this sucks and I hate it. When really it's just, if you have cleaner details on a model, it's easier to see, it's easier to paint accurately, you know? So I wouldn't, if someone asked me if I would recommend them for a new painter, I probably wouldn't, but I wouldn't like discourage them if that's what's getting them like motivated to paint and get into it.
Interesting. I like this podcast where we all get on here to talk about art, and we have Hamster who knows his stuff. And then all I can say is like, yeah.
Dude, like the amount of progress that you made since we started this though in your painting and like your understanding of mini painting is enormous.
Paint go on.
Hey, there's not much more to it.
Paint go on the brush. And the brush go on the mini.
Wow. He's forming almost full sentences
Wow.
now too. We're teaching him a lot more than I thought.
Put that on your resume.
Chris was actually almost. We found him in a cave, but we really liked his spirit, so we decided to bring him on, and now he's learning how to talk and how to paint. Someday he'll be the hero.
That's fair, Topulus. I haven't painted a lot of the larger scale WizKids ones. Big baddies.
They've been doing a lot of dragons lately, from what I've seen.
Oh, cool.
I'm not very good at keeping up on the market though, but a lot of people on the there's like a whole community of people who are tracking that on the Discord, and I just kind of get information that trickles down through that.
Yeah.
So I'm not very good at keeping up on top of it myself.
I mean, I keep up with Games Workshop and War Games, but not a lot of the D&D stuff.
I'm still trying to learn all of the pieces that were made before I worked here.
Oh yeah, I'm bad at older sets.
I can tell you Hellscape and Wildlands pretty well, but like,
well,
man.
and from my position too, and we're trying to like change this time around a little bit, but a lot of times if I didn't paint a piece and it didn't come across my desk, I have no idea about it. I don't know it exists until I start seeing the photography and stuff.
That's fair. How are those brushes now that you used them a bit? Have you been using the Ghost Tiny?
Merc, I've been a bad hamster. I haven't used them yet because I've been messing with the base coats a lot, and they're more focused on detail. But I'll definitely be at the step to use them. I'll probably end up at this rate, just painting the same mini. And when we have the creator of the brushes on here next week, I'll definitely be using them. So that'll be fun.
Do you imagine if we bring him on, and we're just like, yeah, we haven't actually touched him.
Well,
and we're not going to.
and
So
so sell us on your product. It's all you.
It's actually just Shark Tank.
What I will
Hamster
say, you know, because I have been holding them, they're really comfortable to hold. Like this sort of short, fat handle. It's really nice. It feels
that was my nickname in college.
more more like a sort of like the pencil grip. Let's see. Ghost Tiny. One word, Ghost Tiny is the name of the brushes. He's running a Kickstarter on these. They're synthetic nylon, so they're a little softer too. So they're gonna perform a little differently than like your golden Taklon. But he's gonna be on the hobby hang. Chris has been trying to get guests on the show forever, and he keeps asking me about it, and I've been really bad about it. So we're finally gonna have a guest next week.
It's not like
thanks to Chris.
It's not like we've been asking people and they've been turning it down. It's just that we've been trying to get like a list of people to ask.
Yeah.
And we got it. We just haven't like actually asked. And then like it was the anniversary month, and so it was like we're just too busy. But we're trying to bring on guests now. We got a healthy little list of people to ask currently.
Yeah, Hoser, they have this interesting shape. Different than I have the Artis Opus dry brushes. These are a little different because they're still square, kind of like you traditionally use the. Well, this is a chisel, but the flat, brushes like that, square. And the Artis Opus ones are a little more rounded, but these still have that edge, so I think that would be useful for those really hard edges like terrain or something. But they're very soft, so you can still do some kind of stippling blend with them too. So they're neat. They seem really good quality. And some brushes, I mean, like I say, I haven't painted with them yet, but the component quality, sometimes you get these things and they're already loose at the ferrule and stuff. These feel good in the hand.
Maybe that's what we should do. Is maybe next week we'll pick some things that we specifically want to try. I'll grab some stuff that needs some dry brushing.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
For next week.
Yeah, like little fiddly detail with the pointies, and honestly, if you get an unpainted piece of Dwarven Forge and dry brush it, maybe.
That's a good point.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I got these ones. I got the.
Yeah.
The only two I got is the dry brushes.
These are all pretty small. This is a number 3 and a number 5 next to it.
I have a number 1 and a number 2D.
So they're pretty
here.
small. This is like a big old, this is what I would dry brush like ruins and stuff with this. Oh, I'm using the wrong ones. And they're on the smaller side. Not super tiny exactly, but this is what I consider super tiny. It's their detail right there. But
not super tiny, ghost tiny.
There you go.
But yeah. Yeah, I'm excited to actually get into it. And also just, the process of making brushes is interesting to me because it's not something we do. And I don't know, I find our creative process fascinating.
Yeah.
But this is just another creative process that we don't see where we are. So, I'm excited to hear about it. I need a Kickstarter specifically for paint bottles that never get stuck.
Oh my god, yeah. If they invent those, I'll take hundreds.
Man, find me a paint bottle design that will never, ever jam itself up.
Sometimes on the droppers, I squeeze it very slightly when I screw it on. And there's a little bit of pressure in there. And that keeps it from clogging sometimes.
Good to know.
Oh, moderator Griffin Mace is in the chat. Awesome.
Are you moderating chat instead of painting, or drawing, whatever it is you're doing today? It's not an answer.
I can multitask.
Okay, but are you?
I was.
Okay. What do I have in my brush right now? Silver.
I'm practicing human form because I'm
Oh, cool.
not very good at proportions, and I'd like to get that nailed down.
It's like one of the
Dude,
hardest
same. I always eat like way too much.
parts.
Okay.
Honestly relatable.
Oh, there we go. That's
Yeah,
a cute little
I
archer.
might actually just keep this mini pretty close to this stage and then do some detailing with Ghost Tiny next week.
I busted out my big station. I think I'm gonna try to do a bunch over the next week. And yeah, even just like basing a bunch of things would be nice.
Yeah, just making progress at all.
Yeah.
You know what I noticed is if my little desk here isn't like organized and tidy, I will not start something. Like I gotta clean up the space so it's like easy to instantly start, or I find it hard to start sitting down and paint.
Is it because you're like, well, I shouldn't paint until this place is clean, but then you don't clean?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, oh, if I want to paint, I'm gonna have to throw all this crap out and whatever, put this away. And this doesn't work. If I have to paint for work, I'm gonna do it. But
Yes.
but
Nate.
for hobby, my hobby desk, like, and that's what's great about this stream actually is like kind of it gives my desk a refresh. I'm like, I gotta think about, okay, what am I gonna do? Put some old stuff away, make it neat. So that's nice.
So you're worried about strangers seeing your desk and making fun of you because it's messy?
Well, I zoom in to get the model, so you don't see a lot, I guess. But
I don't even care. My pale thighs have been in shot this entire time.
I didn't even notice that, but there they are. Look at you go.
Yeah. What do I?
Here, we gotta.
Is that against
feature
Twitch
this
terms of
knee.
service?
Feature
Do you
this
like
knee.
this? Do you like this Twitch? Is this against your terms of service?
Wow. We're offering this stream for free.
I'm sorry, I'm not a VTuber.
You
Just a
should be.
man
You
with
might be
human
making
legs.
more money.
Oh, I absolutely would. But I'm just a man with human legs. Sorry if Twitch isn't ready for that.
That's looking cool. I like the colors.
What?
Your
Oh, this?
You're
yeah.
mini.
Yeah.
Your knee.
Yeah,
huh?
well, it's part of the set. You know,
Your
these guys are
legs.
all. These guys are all. Oh man. Yeah, you know they're all. Just trying to get like the light actually on. Oh, all right. Oh god, none of this is working right.
Hitting buttons.
Yeah, you know they're all. Oh man. All right. There.
You got it.
They're all hunters in the same group. Ugh, man. I'm not used to being set up like this. Oh god, I need to put the brush down. Oh, this is a mess. Ugh.
They look nice.
We
Thank
love
you.
live shows.
I haven't done this angle before. It's very confusing. Yeah, well, that's what you're gonna get. Yeah, they're the Hunters of Valinor. They serve God, whose entire thing is just overlooking the growth of new life in the Feywild and being like, all right, yeah, this thing's ready to go, and then it gets released into the material plane when it's when he feels it's fully developed, and then just keeps eyes on things, and it's just like making sure that like it's not going to throw the ecosystem off and stuff like that. So then it's like we gotta cull this population. It's like the Hunters of Valinor, like that's like their whole thing is it's just like trying to maintain like the balance of like the ecosystems and all that, going like, all right, you know, there's like a dragon that's gotten too aggressive over here, and it's like killing off like all the wildlife and stuff like that.
Sweet.
And yeah, it's a fun group, and
So how
Sounds
many
good.
models will you have in total of them when they're done?
5.
Okay, cool.
5. The set of 5 orcs from Ragecraft. Studios.
Sweet. Yeah, I mean, I didn't hear about them until you started painting them, but they look awesome.
I
Just
really
all
like
the
their-
Ragecraft stuff, their style.
Yeah, I think they're my favorite. I think my favorite so far. I think they just released their first new one in a while. I think it's just like a 3-person operation.
Oh wow. Did you
and-
first get them from Asset Drop?
Yeah, I got them from Asset Drop.
Asset Drop.
Right.
Yeah, I sounded like I said Acid Drop at first, but
Yeah. you want to drop some asset?
some asset.
And they. Yeah, and I got my first orc from Asset Drop. And then I looked on the site and I was like, oh, they got more. They have like they have like 5 different sculpts. And so I got all of those.
That's sweet.
And so I painted the first one, and then it was like, yeah, like we want this to be a character. We want this to be like a set of characters, and yeah, it's one of those things where like painting a mini like gave the inspiration for the character, and so then yeah, that's part of the world.
It's awesome. Still batch painting Sisters of Battle. Yeah, I have an unopened army box, like that limited edition with the codex cover and everything. And I have an idea for a Sisters of Battle army, and I'm still working on it. But let's just say I have a bunch of Necromunda heads for it from Forge World. So I'm excited to do that eventually, but give me a decade. Oh, man. Yeah, normally I like to get done, but I think I'm gonna call it here and detail them up with Jeff from Ghost Tiny.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited to actually like have a guest on and see how that dynamic works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I like that you guys both went with like a deep purple today too.
yeah, you know, Nate's on the mind.
It's Battlenor's
Loves
colors,
purple.
man. Battlenor's colors, they're very autumnal group, so it's a kind of burnt orange and purple
Right.
colors.
Yeah, I kind of have an orangey reddish brown going on right now on my browns. Goes well with that. And I am really excited to hear down the road how the airbrushing goes on the big guy there.
I really need to stop putting it off and just try this airbrush. I'm just nervous about it.
Yeah.
Do it!
But once you figure it out, it's really simple. Like operating it.
Right, but it's the figuring out part that I'm afraid of.
I feel ya. I went through it. Yeah, start with primer. That's a good idea. Just priming the guy all over with just one primer with the airbrush. That's a good idea. Cool. Well, let's see. What do we got coming up next on ye old channel?
Next week we've got for streaming. After the 2 more busy weeks that we've had recently, it's just gonna be the standard on the Anvil and then Hobby Hang Wednesday and Thursday.
Cool.
I believe this one coming up though is gonna have a KS8 update though.
Oh, there.
It's gonna be another. It's gonna be another check-in stream with details about the next Kickstarter.
Awesome.
That'll be next Wednesday.
I'll tell you what, guys. In the development meetings, there's absolutely gorgeous, insane stuff happening. So I'm interested to see what gets revealed.
Yeah, he showed a lot of stuff, but not everything.
Yeah. Cool.
And I'm not sure. Some of those things were just like, yeah, I'm not sure which things he wants to hold on to until release. But yeah.
Right. Well, awesome. Hey, look out for those streams. Thank you for joining us for Hobby Hang, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Bye.